welcome to Better Biz. IT is something that all businesses need to be thinking about, both as a form of protection and to be proactive, can even save them some money. That's why we've got Peter Loosely from the Managing Director of Virtual IT Managed Services with us today. Hey, Peter, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Anthony. It's good to be here.
Peter, one of the questions that I wanted to ask you particularly was around the idea that how do you get businesses from thinking that IT is just really for when things go wrong, as opposed to being in the mindset that you have to be proactive, both in terms of protection, but also in terms of how you manage your business in day to day and getting more out of it from from the systems that you do or should have in place?
Well, IT is an ever-evolving industry and the field in itself. Every system is being constantly updated. And if you actually looked at the back end, you would find that the systems, whilst they're on the internet, are being constantly bombarded with updates, changes, things that people are not even aware of going on. Simple things such as changing plugins that are going into your browser, or changing feature sets on certain software that you're running, or changing drivers. All of these happen in the background without any user involvement at all. Now, the problem with some of these is that you need some way to be able to validate that each one of them is a requirement and each one of them will not, in fact, impact your system from performing the way it was. Too many times you hear stories of people saying, it was working fine yesterday, I didn't do anything, I turned it off, turned it on, and now it's running as slow as a dog. And then suddenly you look at the history and the logs and find out that an application had decided to update itself and was causing a conflict or an error. Right? So having IT available to be able to look after those and make sure that those type of events don't occur, or if they do occur, can quickly respond and get the person operational again, is why I think that IT services is a necessity for businesses, not something that is just actually when something goes wrong.
Yeah, I think if I can use a cricket analogy, you think of in cricket as a wicketkeeper, and the best wicketkeepers go completely unnoticed because you don't notice that they're doing the stuff all the time. And IT is a little bit like that, right? It's all the stuff that's happening in the background, making sure it's running smoothly. The catches are being caught well, without people even imagining that they wouldn't be. And yet, convincing people that they need the service, that they need that wicketkeeper there because otherwise the ball's going to the fence. It's an important idea, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the one thing I've tried to steer away from of late is trying to convince people that they need IT. I usually find if I have to convince them, they're probably not the ideal client because you're always trying to convince them of your value. So what we're looking for ideally is people that understand that IT is a key tool in their business. Like your analogy previously of the car, right? The engine is a key component of the car, and without it being properly maintained, right, this is something that will stop them being able to move around. Whereas with IT, if it's not properly maintained, and this is a constant solution, if it's not properly maintained and secured nowadays, it can be devastating for the business.
Peter, thank you again so much for joining us today. And I guess we really want to direct people to the huge amount of information that's available on your website. And there's lots of things that people can do when they go there.
Well, our website has got a vast amount of information on it now. One area is obviously the cybersecurity area. There is training information in there. There are articles. We have a massive blog page now, which has in excess of over 100 plus blog articles about all sorts of things, cybersecurity related and also systems related and industry related articles. So my recommendation would be have a look through them and sign up, and we'll send you an email notification every time we publish a new blog article.